My friends, hello. Welcome back for some more pointless challenges. As you can see, we have completed our first one. We're at cycle 334. No time has passed since the last video. We're at 100 dupes, and we're trying to figure out how to not die while we have these dupes. We have 154 tons of dirt, a little bit less than that. Or sorry, a little bit more than that, actually. But that's our death clock. If that goes off and we are at 0 and we have no way to replace that food, then we're dead. So we're currently trying to solve that. By the way, don't worry, the builder that got stuck in here from the last video, there she is. She'll be out of here pretty soon. We can go ahead and rush this out. Definitely had some people getting concerned about that, but she's looking okay. But yeah, what we're doing right now is we are trying to switch into mushrooms, and we have a big mushroom plantation all over here, and as soon as we get enough production off of these, we will start to dig up the things that require dirt and see how far we can go with that. We are ultimately trying to get enough to produce meat from the shovels that we have being mined out in space, which, let's jump over there real fast. They are right here. Looks like our colony's getting a little bit bigger. I don't know how this one got out. Must have just dropped an egg or something. Dupe's being lazy, because this one looks tame. I don't know why it's been moved up here. So we definitely need to grab that one, but yeah, this is our chamber here. We definitely need to bring up this population so that we can start surviving entirely off of the meat that they produce. And they will produce meat by virtue of producing eggs, which I will kill whatever comes out of the eggs, and that will be that. We'll have a nice population going. Also, we are starting up a area over here to incubate these, and I was told that the incubation speed up is only from the, hugging that will be given here. This is increased incubation rate, plus 400%. And yeah, it looks like that must just be it. So, is there any point to powering this at all? I am either remembering this wrong, but I thought that the heat was the difference, and the incubation, or sorry, the lullabying or the hugging or whatever it was different, and it gave a different buff. And I'm apparently just wrong. I guess there's no reason to have these things plugged in, so let's see if the incubation rate is the same, 25% per cycle, without them being powered. And if so, then I'm learning some cool stuff. And hopefully other people will learn this as well, because anytime you can save on power to get effectively the same thing, we should be good. Okay, so this egg, no, it fell once it doesn't have power. So it must be, no, this has it, lullabied. Okay. So is this just in case you need to heat them? I guess I don't understand what the point is of having these powered at all. Because they are still chilling in there. Well, they still get lullabied, by the way. Let me set this up to a little bit higher to make sure these hatch a little bit faster. That one's already set up pretty high. Okay, there we go. So let me set these up, and let me see if this actually gives the buff back, because this was interesting to learn. I had no idea that this was the only thing that created it. And I don't remember if this was like this before, because I played this for a long time and then they eventually changed it, or if it's always been like this. But if there's no reason to power these, then I don't know why we ever would. It's not like you have to keep these warm in order for them to incubate, so yeah, I don't know. You must be getting our dupes grooming these guys. Yeah, that's where they are, instead of where they're supposed to be. Are these guys stuck? What are they doing? Oh, the Volpups apparently fall asleep like this. Oh, there we go. I guess we also proved out oh, that's how it probably got out. I'm guessing that if the shovel drops something and it falls down to this area, it looks like it's possible that they could transfer off of the central area, which is where I want to keep them, off to this outer area, which I don't want to do that. So I might have to fix a little bug in this if that's going to be the case. Maybe I could just move this down a little bit and save on some tiles elsewhere. That's interesting. Huh, okay. Check back and make sure these are getting lullabied. No, still low. And I don't know why they're not coming to do it. Because I don't think anything else is as high of a priority here. Let's just set it to something ridiculous and see if they come and do it. Kendra's out, by the way. There she is. We're good. Go ahead and polish this up a little bit. Keep an eye on our doom clock. We're at 148, which I estimated with some terrible math last video that it's about 10 tons per cycle. I think that's about true. It's probably a little bit less than that we're losing. So I'm just for safety's sake, I'm going to assume that's true, even though it's not actually that much. And I'm just going to assume that we have basically 14 days before we are totally dead. So the question is, can I get the chamber up and running in 14 days? And if not, how long can I bridge the gap with just the slime? So we've got mushrooms coming up here. We still have not had any of them actually sprout yet. We're having some temperature problems here. See if I can move this over and get this redone in a better way. This whole idea of killing germs via cooling is not working out nearly as well as I thought it was going to. So I think as far as this experiment, it's probably not really worth it to do it this way. Yeah, thought I would just provide a little bit of an update on that, but that's definitely a thing that has been happening. Oh, also, I eventually need to fix my water supply. My water supply is not great. Probably not as dire as the food right now, but it's kind of close. Let's check to see if this got lullabied. And it hasn't. So maybe that is what is required in order to be lullabied. Which I guess would make sense. That would give a purpose for powering these things. So I'm going to power this back up. And I'm hoping that as soon as we do, we see an instant change in the coming to give the lullaby buff, which would actually prove out that we do need to have these things powered, which means there's not a massive gaping hole in the game design right now. So that's at least good for the sake of knowing that they're kind of doing the right thing and something that makes sense, but also bad because we're going to have to spend power on these now, which is back to what I expected. And there we go, now that these are being incubated. Yeah, it looks like this can only happen if these things have power, so that explains it. This is going to hatch any second. There we go. Alright. So let me go ahead and bump these down just a little bit. We got some people who are struggling to breathe. And yeah, they're coming in here en masse to sing songs, hug the container. So yeah, that's definitely kind of solves the case on that. And there's so many things that I'm wrong about that I just assume that I'm wrong if somebody is posting something down there. So for once, I was somehow correct, even though my assumptions could have been off by some other means. But yeah, sounds like we good. All right, we still need to finish this up too. We do need to increase our water supply. I am holding all of my polluted water right now because I wanted to cool it for cooling down this area. So this will be done here in just a little bit. I may just force my way in. But yeah, we need to wait for this food to pay off so we know how much of the meal wood we can dig up. I think my barrier for starting to dig this stuff up is probably going to be about 300,000 calories. So that'll be when I start getting rid of stuff and just trying to feel it out and balance it out as time goes on. And another thing I should probably address, because maybe some people don't like check out every single comment on every video and whatever, but I definitely do. And one thing somebody else was saying in one of my comments was that I should use a calculator to calculate how much food I will need to do certain things. I agree. That's totally a way that we could do it. I'm going to say that those calculators are never perfect, so you will have to overestimate if you wanted to do that. After this video, and once we have a better idea of where we stand on the slime, I will show what the calculations actually are. And then we'll try to work backwards from there and see how accurate they are in practice. In practice, they are always a little bit different because your dupes will not be doing things at 100% efficiency all the time. Sometimes it can take some time for things to travel certain places. You might lose a little bit of efficiency here and there. Depending on how you're storing it, and depending on what your duplicants do, it might not actually use the food the most efficiently. So there's a lot of different factors as to why the calculation should be considered a good like baseline. But whatever the calculation gives you, I would probably overestimate on that by a good like 10% or so, just to make sure that you are covered. But we'll do that as a part of an experiment in the next video, I think, once we get all this stuff up and stabilized. I need to start cycling this and cooling this area because this area is getting a little bit too hot. We do have water that's chilling right here, which is apparently not doing enough. Where's this going? Looks like it's going here to cool our oxygen. Once this gets cold enough, it will start flushing it out. So it should happen pretty regularly, so hopefully that'll take care of it. I don't want to obsess over it too much, but... Well, yes I do. Why would I go with half measure here if we're about to die? Alright. Cycle that out to get that part cooled down. There we go. This should start flowing here in just a second as soon as enough of it gets out. We'll double check that here in just a sec. So I do need to keep digging. I'm digging for fungal spores, which are basically the seeds for the mushrooms, just to make sure that we have enough that are planted right now, because I don't know if we can actually sustain on what we've planted thus far. So I want to at least fill up the places that we've committed to. And the only way I'm going to do that is by digging more into this biome. So that's why we're continuing to dig, and that's going to be one of our primary jobs here. I also don't want to open up this natural gas geyser. I want to wait until this is dormant, and then I'll open it up and seal it off, because we can't use it anyway. That's because of our arbitrary rules that we like to put in place to make the game harder for ourselves. Alright, let's check out the area up here and see if we need to make any fixes. I probably should long term. I think I'm just going to move down these tiles a little bit more so that they can't jump from one tile to a tile they just barfed out, which I think is what's happened when they switched basically like platforms, I guess, or surfaces out to this outer area. I don't want them to do that, so what I want to do is I want to figure out how many spaces I'm going to create by doing this. And I also want to make sure it's okay that I'm not walking right here. I think I don't care, because there's nothing to really do. I'm going to have to move this. I don't know. Shouldn't have built this so close. This is actually going to be kind of a big reconstruction, because I'm going to have to move everything down if I want to do this the right way. And maybe I just don't care. I'll just keep an eye out for any shove voles that get onto the outer platform, and I'll just try to move them back in. Not the greatest solution, but the reconstruction that's needed right now is just too much, and I have too many other things to focus on. So I'm not going to try to plan it out if I'm in a dire situation somewhere else. Alright, who's suffocating? Looks like you're going to be fine. We really need to harvest this water, so I wish somebody would get up here and actually do it. Hut, 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 hut. Probably making really slow progress because of how far down this is. And I think what happens is as soon as they get even close to needing oxygen, they will run away. Which is fine, because I don't want them to die. But yeah, it does waste a lot of time being down here like this. And I could use suits for those of you that have asked. I just have been trying to be lazy about that, because those suits can consume a lot of power if you have a lot of dupes using them at the same time. And while I have a lot of people in my prison, it still will run out pretty easily, so I just want to be careful. Saving our pips, because this is our only chance at getting more dirt in the long term outside of frying algae, which we might have to. We need a heat source for that if we're going to do that, though, but what I think I'm going to probably do... What's happening? Get out of there. Yeah, this is going to be another annoying part of this, is that if dudes need to come down here and fill up slime and stuff, they're going to have a hard time breathing. But what I'm going to need to fry that algae is some kind of heat source. So I may, depending on what kind of space I have, I may find a way to build out some automation, maybe like right here. Because this is already hot enough to fry that algae. Sitting up at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and in order to turn algae into dirt, all we need is 257. So that should be enough, or I will make some kind of like room with metal tiles here or something. I'll probably mess around with this because this is a heat source I already have. And there's not a bunch of great places that I have on the map right now that are going to generate that kind of heat. Maybe the natural gas, but it's going to take a lot, and I'm going to have to vent it. So I'd rather use something that I'm already using for a lot of heat, or rather generating a lot of heat from. So maybe I'll just turn maybe like this little nook or something like that into like an algae cooking room, which is definitely something I've never done before, so that'll be cool. Alright, let's get all this stuff cleared out. Don't want these tiles. What's entombed? Okay. Yeah, that must have been it, because I think one of these shovels barfed something up, and then jumped onto it right afterwards. So that's got to be the reason why they got stuck on that other area. Oh, free food. Yes. Oh, something else I need to check out. This was, again, very helpful for my comments. I need to see if cooking the mushrooms actually does anything to help with, like, calories. Sometimes when you cook something, it will make it more efficient calorie-wise. So what I'm going to do... Maybe this is a little bit early for this, but I don't think so. I'm going to dig this up. And I'm going to... Actually, if I just replace the tiles, that'll be fine. I'm just going to replace the tiles here. Something like that, which is going to be annoying. I'm going to have all my raw ingredients drop right here. And if I need to turn that into more food, which I guess I could have done with the meal lice as well, but that's going to be a huge tax on water, which I don't have right now. But I'm going to drop off all the raw ingredients right here. I'm going to change up the routing just a little bit. And then any cooked stuff, I'm going to move somewhere else, depending on what needs to happen. So maybe I'll have 2 piles for this. Maybe I'll cook stuff right here, and then I'll have a pile here that's for... Maybe I'll have raw ingredients here, and this is for, like, finished food, and then any other finished food will go down the line. So let's see if mushrooms actually change, because I don't know this off the top of my head, considering how few times I've actually tried to work with mushrooms, other than just the random ones that grow out on the map. Let's make sure our digging efforts are still happening. Not really. We need to dig more. And I messed up both of those. There we go. Getting a lot of hydrogen pockets up here, which is kind of annoying because I can't do anything with it. So it's basically just junk gas for me right now. Which, again, let's be sad by looking at my pipes and seeing how much hydrogen I'm wasting. Oh, this is so much energy. Man, I really need to set up this second line. My oxygen system's getting super backed up because of it. Yeah, I guess if we know we need to vent all this, I might as well. That's painful. Alright, I'll do that later. Alright, just getting this all set up. Drawing a bunch of lines with buildings. Definitely a big part of this game is drawing lines with buildings. Soon enough, we need to start spelling letters with buildings just to be cool. Alright. These eggs should be coming out here as well. I think they're going to be shipped to right here for right now, and then I'm going to move them. How many do we have in here right now? 7. Okay, this is coming up a little bit quicker than I thought. We might be just fine. Let's see what happens when these mushrooms start to come up. These are about 70% done. 7.5 cycles. We probably got like another 2.5 days-ish. A little bit less than that. Which I don't think we're going to get to in this video. So I may have to do another cutaway where we effectively play another round immediately after. But let's, at least for now, check out and see how these mushrooms are going to fare. Alright, that's going to take up that much space. Let's deconstruct. Let's set it up exactly the same way we have over here. So I think raw ingredients are going to drop here. Cooked stuff is going to get shipped. Probably through something up here. I think I'll just add a box that is not asking for everything. I need to change this. This needs to be for specific stuff. Let me just actually rebuild this, because I only want this on this side. Or do I really care? Let me just deconstruct this. And then this is going to only take cooked somethings. So this is going to be taking cooked. I wonder if this will do the same thing for barbecue, by the way. That's something I probably should have checked a long time ago. I don't think so. I think a lot of times when I was cooking, it was for... Oh, I need to also make this bigger, because this needs to be for several cooking stations for this many duplicants. Can we get away with 3? Is there a better way to design this too? This is by far the most cooking I'm ever going to have to do. So if I have 3, raw ingredients could come from somewhere nearby. I guess if I'm going to cook them right away, I don't really need to worry about storing them long term. So if it's a raw ingredient, I'm just going to drop it off maybe like, I don't know, here. And then I'll have it loaded in by this one. When it's done, it'll get loaded back in here and put back into the system. So I'm going to need to create a filtering setup over here for any sort of raw ingredients, or maybe I'll just have it be ignored by these things and have it dropped and then shipped all in mass because I'm gonna have two different types, which I did talk a little bit about in my shipping video, but yeah, let's go ahead and get this finished up. So the edible stuff that I want to ship out from here, I want to ship out stuff that we've never made before, except for fried mushrooms, because we just got those in a print. So let's do something like this. Conveyor loader. I need to change this eventually once it gets far enough. Actually, maybe this is not the right time to do it. Let me set up the other stuff first. So I want to eventually have a conveyor chute that just drops off right here. This is going to be for all raw ingredients, so it's going to have a line that goes from starting here, drawing up with a bridge. And we're going to go up like that, over the river, through the woods, and there we go. So any raw ingredient's going to drop here. And that's only going to be things I plan on cooking, which means I'm going to need a second setup here. This is the trouble with filtration. The trouble with filtration is that... Okay, this is just to scoop up stuff from the printing pod. The trouble with filtration is that anytime you need to change any filtration, and this is exactly what I talked about with my video about it, you need to then, like, re-expand everything. It's really annoying. I have two lines that both lead to the same place. I don't know why I have that. So, what is this detecting for? Oh, it's for two things. It's for meal lice and for meat. Okay, that makes sense. Exactly the reason why I don't like this. But I have to do this for the shipping out to the other area. I don't want to just have a bunch of stuff sitting in a box that can't be shipped, and that's the problem with all these secondary areas, like the prisons, for example. Let me build this out first, because we're really just trying to find the answer to something which we haven't done yet. And that is wondering whether we get extra calories from making barbecue or from making fried mushrooms. Someone's suffocating. Who is it? Alright, you're gonna be fine. Someone's almost dying, and you're just like, yeah, you're gonna be fine. Come on. You can breathe. Alright, this is almost done. I've done so much pausing this video that we've almost covered, like, 3 cycles, and that's about it. So, my apologies for kind of the rough and rocky pace here, but we need to solve our food problems, and once I feel better about our food problems, we'll probably go back to a normal cadence of updating every once in a while, updating whenever there's really a lot of changes and stuff to say about it, but since we're in such dire straits right now, we need to figure this out. Might as well just go ahead and build a loader here, too. We just won't set it for anything yet. What I want to set it for, this is going to be for anything that I anticipate to cook. So I'm going to have to change these filters. Maybe I don't need to do this, but I will just have to change what this is filtering for. And instead of meal lice, it'll just have to be like barbecue or, why am I forgetting this word? Or fried mushrooms. And then the remainder will go here of the barbecue and fried mushrooms. That's what I expect my dupes to be eating. I guess it could still be meal lice as well, so I may just change this to a different filter type, I think. Or just add another one. This is why these individual filters are such a pain. They are much more efficient, but they are less capable for covering many cases. Alright, are we doing okay up here? Like, are we not creating eggs as fast as we should be? Or we just have a bunch of baby ones? Okay, they just dropped one. They're about to. They're getting pretty close. And they're not super close. Looks like we just have a bunch of baby ones, so we need to wait to grow up. Produce babies for me so I can eat them. Ha! Someone's gonna clip that and totally use that out of context. So I should probably look for some public defenders or something in advance to be like, somebody said you wanted to go eat babies. And I'll be like, no, you don't understand. I want to eat Volpup babies. You see the difference there, right? That probably won't help. Okay, we finally have this up. Does frying it add more calories? Yes, a little bit. From 24 to 28. Same thing with barbecue? Yes, it does add more. So this is something that I probably should have been doing all along, is cooking my food to add more calories to it, which doesn't really make sense. But I guess it's part of it, so we gotta abuse every little mechanic we can to try to survive here. So let's fire up the grills and start cooking. I want to make these forever. I want to make these forever. And this can't reach the final food, so that's fine. That's what I want. Copy settings. We need to make sure we have cooks also. I'm pretty sure that we do. Let's just check their priorities real quick. And their skills. All right, this is going to take a while. So do we have a cook that's anywhere nearby? All right, Abigail has cooking. Okay. We have another cook. Evil Emily has cooking. And Evil Kevin. All right, we're going to get some evil food going on here. We have a fourth one as well, Sloth. So it looks like oh, and Ian. All right, I planned this out more than I thought. So we have enough cooks to keep these 3 grills running regardless of the shift. So we have round-the-clock cooking going on. Let me go ahead and increase the priority a little bit. Then we'll change our filters a little bit also to make sure all that stuff's getting cooked, and I will turn off the filters over here to be something else. Once it starts coming down. So let's change this one right now for 1, because we know what's going to happen. Let's start filtering for something we know is not going to get sent, like hexalent fruit. Once I start producing barbecue, that is when... we're only sending meal ice to the prison, by the way. Once we start producing barbecue, I can change that filter out to what it's supposed to be, and then it will get sent back to here to be eaten by my dupes. And we'll have to add another filter here, so we might as well just do that now. We want this one to go up. We want this one to be deleted because it's going to go down. And this is going to filter for something else other than meal ice. We want this to probably filter for... This one needs to be barbecue also, so I'm going to... make sure we have this set up correctly. We need this to also be an AND gate. Like this. Yes. The annoying thing is that this is right here, which I can't avoid. Well, I can. Let's move this. This is in a bad spot. Let me delete this. Can this still reach? Not really, but we're not going to be building anything on the other side like transit tubes anyway, so I don't really care if that's right there. Let me deconstruct this real fast. And this automation wire is not going to be in the same place, so let's cancel this. And cancel that, and deconstruct this. Okay. Gonna get this repaired, and then we're going to be getting a little bit of extra food, which makes me feel a little dumb. Probably should have had this the whole time. But we're finding mushrooms. We didn't harvest some of these already, right? Oh, we are! Okay, here we go. Starting to replace our food supply. Everybody's just standing around. Alright. Let me deconstruct this and get this all rebuilt real fast. This is going to create a big mess, which we kind of anticipated. Got our cooks going. Cooks are busy. This is going to take all of our raw ingredients that we want to have sent back there. So we want this to be edible stuff, obviously. Meat and mushrooms. And we obviously need power, so might as well do that. There we go. Okay, let's deconstruct this because we don't need this anymore. We will need another filter that goes down instead of up. So, oh, I had it right before. There we go. We're going to be sending this out to our prison. We're going to give them better food now. They should be happy about that. And... is this a bridge? Yeah, I need to get rid of this bridge. Put that in a really weird spot. I should have put that in a better place. Go back to where I was before and just slap myself upside the head. Alright, and this, we definitely know it's going to be shipped out of here. Fried mushrooms and barbecue we now have. So there we go. This should also take barbecue. There we go. Wait, what else was this taking? Oh, this is for raw ingredients. What am I doing? I need to set barbecue over here. because we set this to something made up. So barbecue is going up here. And I guess if any excess meal lice is set up, I should probably catch that, because I still will be producing it a little bit. So expanding this out, let me delete this. There we go. And because these are on priorities that are so strange for like these rails and stuff, sometimes you can have a hard time getting dupes to come over here and build this if you only have a few of them specialized in it. So I usually will raise the priorities of these kind of considerably. Okay, so this is going to be for barbecue. This is going to be for everything. Anything that comes down here, I'm just going to load onto the line. So let's do that. We can get rid of this. And okay, we now have cooking stations set up here. We could definitely move them to a more efficient place if we need to, but I think we have all the filtration that we need. We just need power for this guy. There we go. Let's get power for this other filter and make sure the rest of our filters are good, and then we can see the whole operation going at once. So this one's filtering for barbecue. I want this one filtering for fried mushrooms. And I should probably also ban all of my duplicants from eating meat that's raw. Although, they'll have a hard time getting to that before it gets cooked, so I don't think I really care that much about that. Let's get some automation. Oh, we need to set this. So, fried mushroom I think was the other thing that we needed. No, we had that. We need meal lice for here. And do we still need meal lice to go down? Yeah, we are still sending meal lice back down to the prison. So the last thing we need to do before we wrap this up is I just need to set up the automation to make sure that we are giving our food a facelift here and that we are surviving as efficiently as we possibly can without spending more resources than we need to. And there we go. That should do it. So this is filtering for meal lice. This is also, I need to change this to... it's eventually going to be only fried mushroom and barbecue, so because we know we're going to have fried mushroom coming through a little bit more, let's go ahead and send that. How are we doing on calories? So we do have some in the ecosystem here. There are fried mushrooms coming down, so it looks like we have some changeover. We are not super far along in that, and we are still very much at risk. Our doom clock is at 133, so we've lost a hefty amount just over the course of this video. So we are starting to kind of see how serious this is and how close we're getting. I don't want these to be loaded by dupes either. I wish they would stop doing that because I have an arm that's meant to do this anyway. Oh well. I guess if they're running meat from here to here, that's not that big of a loss. I think they're running me my mushrooms right now, which is part of why this is important. So we will get our mushrooms up and running. I think I'm going to stop here since we are over time by a few minutes. I'm going to stop right here. We will save, and we will pick up where we left off to make sure our food transition happens. Start digging up the old ones and moving on to getting our food all settled. After that, we'll be making sure that we get our oxygen settled because our water supply is dwindling quite fast now. We'll get all that set up, and as long as we can survive with our oxygen that we have and with our food that we have, then I feel like we are stable on 100 dupes, and that challenge will be over with. Like, we've already accomplished it in the sense that we have it. We still need to live long enough to actually finish the game with the other conditions that we have. So we're close, guys. We're very, very close to being stabilized, and we'll be doing that in the next video. If you're interested in other content I have on my channel, especially any of the DLC stuff, check that out, because I just did a run, or a part of a run in the DLC, where I landed on a new asteroid for the first time, and it did not go well. So check out that video if you wanted to see some more interesting stuff happening there. In the meantime, take it easy. Have a good holiday season as it's coming up upon us really fast, and I stumble super hard through this outro. Have a good one and take care.